This is a great image of a respectable, classy, beautiful woman.
For you to point out this well-dressed sister here to make me feel some type of way about myself becomes a problem.
Let me get you.
Reason I have never said I do is because I don't.
I've been married, and I couldn't sign up for bad sex.
Let's drive.
So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
I just basically wanted to say, you're just playing house. You know what I mean? If you've been with him since you was 15, and now you're 22, and y'all have a child, how old is your child? 2. Okay, yeah, he should have been gave you a ring. He should have at least gave you a promise ring to ensure you, like, honey, I'm not going anywhere. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Like, I want this to work as a home, as a unit.
And the other thing is, at this point in the relationship, it's been 7 years. Don't you think that you really love him and you put it out there that you want this ring? And you put it out there that you want this ring? Did you put it out there that did you tell him? Did you communicate it?
Not really, I'm really
No. The question, did you communicate your desire to have the ring?
Can I give a man's point?
It's not. They count on that. He's counting on you not wanting to pressure him.
Give a man's point of view.
Yeah,
I think it's important to at least have the conversation if that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's good advice. I don't.
To communicate it?
No. The communication and all. If you're 22 years old, it's okay, 7 years, but you two were children when you got together. So I would say that it's wise to give yourself time. If you know you're not going anywhere, and you never know all the way what somebody else is going to do. So that's why we have trust and faith in these other things. So I mean, if you're going to be with them, I wouldn't put the weight of your relationship on a ring. To me, that's problematic.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Now, I'm not saying that if he's running. I mean, if he's acting in a way, if he's taking out the trash and helping you cook and doing all those things, to me, that's the important part. So you can be with somebody for 80, 90 years, and y'all never stand in front of somebody else that's giving you a piece of paper. And if that's your man and you his woman, then that's what it is. And that's really what marriage is supposed to be about anyway.
I'd like to interject for a second. I'm sorry. I'd like to interject. Similar to you, I was in a very long relationship. Yeah. I got into my relationship when I was 17. And I lived with my partner till I was 28 without a ring. So when I tell you that you need to put it out there, it's a communication thing. He has to know what you're looking for and what you want. Because look at me. I mean, I would never take back my 11 years. But I have to say that when you don't communicate it, it was never an issue to me whether we had one, whether we didn't. Sure, in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, eventually we'll get married. 11 years in, I ain't never had a ring. We lived together. We cohabitated as husband and wife for 11 years. You know what I mean? So you have to communicate that if that's what you want.
And that's true because, I'm sorry, that's true. I played housewife too, Didn't give me no ring, kept saying we're going to get married. I'm cleaning, I'm scrubbing this man floor with his toothbrush, like with the toothbrush to, keep the stains out the carpet. And, I did everything he wanted me to do. I did what I was told, basically. When I was told to be in the house at a certain time, I came in. And I never got a ring. And, he trained me that way because I was with him, since I was 12. Now, I didn't have sex with him until we became 16.
But as
I got older,
communicate that though.
Right. No. He communicated that he wanted to keep. He wanted to get married. I kept saying, well, we're young, and we're not going to separate. So why rush this? I want to finish school. I have things I want to do. So why rush this? Do you know what he did? Come to find out, he gave someone else the ring and had a family on the other side. And
now we have an audience member who was waiting
the whole time. And
Go ahead.
Can y'all hear me? Good. All I'm gonna say is,
she gonna stand up and say it too, so you ain't miss it.
Children too, and the first thing you teach your children is whatever it is that you want, you have to make it known. Because if you don't make it known, nobody's gonna hand you out anything. So if you make a situation comfortable, and he's comfortable there, You're comfortable. You're not making anything. Why should he go further out behind? You don't want anything else. Both of y'all are comfortable. If you don't make it known, you're not going to get it. It's been 7 years.
I mean, clearly, if it's about the age thing, because you are fairly young, who's to say? No one's saying you have to get married tomorrow.
Why can't you have a long engagement?
Exactly, till you're done school, or but at least his commitment level to you, that's important. The ring is not just about the bling. It's about the fact that someone has decided that they would like for you to be one with them for the rest of their life.
So it's okay to be, if he proposed, it's okay to be married for a long time, because then I get that.
You mean engaged?
Or engaged, I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
engaged for a long time.
You decide that. Nobody decides that for you.
Nobody got to tell you. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, baby. Now see,
before they got married.
now see, somebody come and they ask Danielle to marry them. You got about 3 days for this marriage to occur. Because, see, I done got old. So, I'm going to tell you right now, we running to go get married before you change your mind. Because, y'all done let me, I might scare the man away. Like, 96 hours might be a little bit too long. And then we hold off and had a power. Had a nice party. But for you, you can wait.
Is it because you just want a ring, or is it because you want to be called his wife? Because you're already living as a family.
Living with him and not being called a fiance, a wife. I feel uncomfortable saying I live with
you
my
want
baby
you want it publicized.
Can you handle?
We're the same age. He's 23.
He's 23.
You see? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick. He's 23 years old. You say you've been with him since you was 15. Now, I was keeping quiet, but I kind of came into the reality of what you're going through right now. I'm 30 years old right now. Just getting to that point, okay, you know what? I'm sick of everybody else. I just want to be with one person. He's 22 right now. Basically, what's going on right now, he's still 15. You know what I'm saying? He's 22 years old, but he's still 15. And that's what's really going on right now. And the thing about it, you can either choose to wait for him so he get to that level, because the thing about it, women mature faster than men anyway. And then you got, it's only a handful of men that get there, and sometimes only men they get there at 50 years old, and they can still get to that point. And men just gotta go through a whole lot of stuff. And then the thing about it, you gotta choose to if you want to stay with him or not. Basically, you gotta wait right now because he's not there yet. He's not there yet, and neither are you if you ain't answered yet.
Do you see yourself with him for the rest of your life? I mean,
Yes,
that's the commitment we're talking about.
He's a great dad. He's a great provider. He's just really, really, really laid back, and I don't know how to approach him.
But understand this too about marriage. Once you say I do, it's not like anything changes. I mean, yes, no. What I mean is, yes, there's a commitment, there's a lifetime commitment, but for some, it's spiritual too. You're right. Yes. But once you say I do, it's not like all of a sudden now that you're married, the sky is going to be any bluer or grayer.
Well, I'm glad you told somebody that, because a whole bunch of people think that it is.
I know.
But if we're having sex and we're having children, then we are supposed to be married in the sight of God. If that's who we're.
But she didn't stay. I mean, I know she's religious, but he's not religious. But you are.
I grew up in the church. He did.
So that's why you know you need to be married because of that.
So I feel guilty, and he's just like, well, it's gonna happen with time. He hints it like, well, we're gonna buy this house, and things like that. But he didn't propose.
You know what, you need to start praying together, because a couple that prays together stays together. Right, but maybe.
But it's not about being religious.
He still can pray. Just because you're not a religious person, don't mean that you can't pray for him and you can't pray with him. That doesn't mean anything.
But he may not be open to that.
I was with some, right? But try to open it up.
But you can't, try to open it. First of all, it starts off be ye not unequally yoked. So obviously, unequally yoked. She can't force him to be.
But wait a minute. You know what? Let's just back up to that one, because then they say that, well, you can't be unequally yoked. So you don't necessarily find out you're not unequally yoked until you get started with this here thing. So so now I'm supposed to be like, okay, so now what?
But that's what the entire dating process is about. Getting.
What do you do when you're in this situation?
Getting to know the person. Well, the thing is this: it's much easier. Think about it. It's much easier to break off a relationship when there's just been casual dating, when we're not living together, we're not sleeping together, we don't have we haven't crossed that threshold. Like I posted when this conversation on Facebook, the levels of intimacy. You begin with that mental intimacy. Let's talk. Let's find out what's in your head, what's in my head. Then it moves to emotional intimacy, and then spiritual intimacy, culminating with physical intimacy. I agree with my brother over here. Just physiologically and psychologically, men mature slower than women. Throughout history, it has usually always been a man 10 years or more older than the women married women. You go back in history, it's only been the last few hundred years in this country, because in other countries it's still the same way, where it's the older woman, younger man, or the same age. It was usually the man would go get a job, get a career, be able to have his stuff together, and then at 30, 35, then he goes, gets the 20, 25-year-old woman who's able to have children because of that thing, you know. So I agree with what he's saying. And the only thing I'll say about marriage is, a lot of people say it's just a piece of paper, but there are changes that take place. There are spiritual changes that take place within the individual. And statistically, I can tell you from counseling many couples, statistically, couples that live together before they get married actually have a slightly higher divorce rate than couples that don't. So this whole idea of, well, we live together first and we get everything to work out, and that it's not true.
Well,
because people who live together without being married find it much easier to break a commitment and to not be committed, you know. So really marriage, the ultimate thing of marriage is a commitment. And the reason why I believe sex should be saved for marriage is because that's the ultimate piece of the commitment. I'm committing myself totally to you. Think about the marriage ceremony. The woman walks past everybody, signifying, I am bypassing everybody to be with only this person. And the man is waiting at the altar to symbolize, this is the only woman that I want to be able to come to me. You know, so it's not just, you know, formality. I mean, you know, there's actual meanings behind all of that. But it really all comes down to commitment.
Do you want to advertise your product or your service or your event right here in between the hottest show in America? Give us a call at 215-843-1984. Give us a call. If everything's a go, we'll have your commercial advertised on the next show. This program is brought to you by Kia Gray's Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. We have Sunday brunch on Sundays at 10 a.m. We have a delicious seafood and steak menu, and host your next event, wedding reception, or party at Kia Gray's Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. Special thanks to Q's Hair Boutique, located at 5815 North Broad Street, Philadelphia, PA. Q's Hair Boutique is a full-service salon providing the star treatment for any occasion. Please don't look any further for your next hair appointment. Call Q's Hair Boutique. That's 215-668-9800. In true celebrity fashion, Austin Photography snapped beautiful candids of all the single on a Saturday night group. Austin Fine Photography is located at 4221 Main Street. If you would like to feel like a star, please call Austin Fine Photography at 267-297-7895. This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Michael. He's senior pastor and founder of Living Waters Ministries with your 1 minute of inspiration. Have you ever heard the saying that the clothes make the man? While that may be true in business, it's really not the same when it comes to serving God. I know there are churches with certain unwritten dress codes, and many times people say, well, I would come to church if I just had the right thing to wear, or people say, I don't feel like getting dressed up, and even with tattoos and with piercings, and we think that that keeps God from loving us. Well, the truth of the matter is that God desires a heart that is after Him, burning with passion, desiring to spread His love to somebody else. So we invite you to come to Living Waters, where your style of dress is not our focus, it is not the main concern, or whether you're tattooed or not, it doesn't matter. It's a heart that God wants to use. So come and let God and the wave of His presence overtake you. We invite you to join us every Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. We worship in the main sanctuary of the Collingdale First Church of the Nazarene, 212 McDade Boulevard, Collingdale, Pennsylvania. Come and let the wave overtake you.
Hey, this is Steve Harvey. Right now you're watching Single on a Saturday night, but I'm married.
Katrina,
I have to say one thing. To piggyback off of what you said about not finding out who you're with until you are married. Sometimes you don't find out until you're married.
Exactly.
Because there's a mental click or whatever spiritual connection that Pastor Mike is talking about. But you need to have the conversation. You want to get married. A lot of divorces take place because man and woman are not on the same page before they walk down the aisle. And you don't find that out until you've been living together and until the things happen. Sex is great, and waiting for the sex before you get married is great, but that doesn't save a marriage.
That's right.
So you need to have the conversation. If you want to get married and he doesn't, it doesn't matter if you do get him down the aisle. 5 years later, he's not going to be there because it's not what he wanted.
And
so
you told
need
us
to
that
be
he's-
on the same page and find out now. Maybe you will have to wait 5 or 10 more years. You've only been together, you said that you've been together for 7 years, but you were 15. That's not enough time for you to be marriage ready. Because
Y'all still
you
growing
were
together. Yeah.
You have to still
Y'all
develop
still growing up
physically,
together.
mentally, spiritually, and on every level. So, have the conversation and then move from there.
Because you know the thing I'm going to tell you is this. When we start out real young in our relationships, and again, like I said, for some people think back longer than others, okay? Remember when that was real, well, he looked good or she looked good, or she was light skinned with long hair, and he had a six pack, and we was good. Like, he had it, girl, he got money, he worked at McDonald's 3 nights a week. We was doing good, okay? Oh, his grandmom let him drive his car, drive her car on the weekends. I'm just saying that when you 15, 16, 17, 18, and some people 25, what you looking for is not the kind of thing that sustain a relationship. And I don't know your situation, I don't know you, but I'm just saying that you've been together since you're 15, them first 6 years didn't count. Right. Okay? I mean, they really didn't. Y'all happen to get together and have a baby, and he may be your best friend. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and I look back at myself, and I'm gonna get to my story at the next segment, because I'm not typically very honest about these things, is that when you look back on it at 30, and you say I do to that man when you're 22, I can only hope that at 30, he can satisfy you. Exactly. I can just only hope.
I do want to reiterate what this gentleman was saying as well as what she was saying. I mean, you are very young, and like she was saying, the first 5 years that you've been with him since you were 15, a lot is going to change from now that you're 22 until even when you're 30. You think that you know everything right now, and these last 5 years that you've been in this relationship, you probably been through everything imaginable. You feel like, we're good and we're in a good place. At some point, very, very soon, I want that ring. When you're 30, I'm not trying to discourage you from being in your relationship, but you may turn around and look at your partner and your needs may change between now and 30. Your priorities may change. And he may not grow with that place. Now, I'm not saying that he won't, but there may be a chance that he might not. And when you get there, and that's just to say if you want to get married now, when you get to that age of 30, I'm not, saying that you shouldn't, but you may turn around and be like, what was I doing? I'm not the same person that I was when I was 22 or when I was 15. He may, and he may still be. So that's something else you do.
And not even that. Think about the process in the last year. How many times you changed your mind with careers, what you want to do, how you want to do it. The same way that changes every day, basically every day. Yeah. That's the same way it's going to change. You're growing every day. Every day you got a new story. Every day you got something else you want to do in life. If you're not, if you're trying to figure out with life, you can't be ready to get married right now. You're still trying to figure out whether you want to be pre-med or the superstar on the radio. You know what I'm saying? You're still trying to figure all that out. So you need time, and that's just my, just me knowing you personally. I'm sorry, but just me knowing you personally, you need time to really grow because you're still growing. And I think Tasha wanted to say something.
I have an opinion. I got married when I was 19, and I got a divorce like 2 years later. And the marriage was just because I was with him, I was living with him, and I felt like I gotta get married to him because that's how you gotta do it. Then we got divorced and we got a baby, and now I'm with a guy, and I'm 25 now, and he's 30, and he talks about marriage, but really in my mind, I don't want to get married no more. But I do, but I don't. I'm like, I want to get married, but I don't. So I'm not like pressuring him. If he asks me, I might say yeah, but I want to I want to wait until I'm like 40, maybe we can walk down the aisle.
Long?
No.
See, we're the wrong crowd, talking about long.
No, but
40 was a long way.
Well, I'm only 25, so 40 will be long for me. But I don't know what I feel you in your situation, but I don't know how to give you any advice because I feel the same way. I want him to ask me because I want to be like, yeah, he asked me, but then I don't want him to ask me because I really don't want to do it anymore. So because I did it before and it went totally wrong, and I know it's because I wasn't supposed to get married at that age, you know, but I don't know, but I really feel you in that situation. So I'm listening to all the advice and I'm like taking it in for myself too.
But what you're going through now, being young, you're going through the uncertainty of you, the uncertainty of him, you and him together. We all go through that uncertainty. There are things you will know about him. There are things you're not going to know until it happens, or situations happen. You may break your leg. He may sweep you up and take care of you, or he may be like, that's it. I mean, you never know until a situation happens. You know, that's why a lot of it is faith, whatever faith is, how much you believe in faith. You know, so hopefully you two can be together for as long as you can. But
and we'll come back to you. But I want to hear Danielle. Danielle, it's time. Hot seat. Woo woo. Danielle, tell us of your story. Tell us about your life. Tell us about your celibacy. Tell us everything, Danielle.
Remember, I don't have no celibacy. That's number one.
I know.
Okay.
Or nine.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess the great love of my life, my big heartbreak, was again, I guess, a man that I met when I was 22, and I thought that he had it all, and I thought that we were equally yoked, and that in time we were going to build to something. Because I didn't see myself getting married at 22. Now you have to understand that my parents were together. My father died 2 years ago. My parents had 45 years in. So I've never said I do, because I don't. Because I want that kind of relationship. When I say I do, you're going to be stuck with me. As a matter of fact, if you want to get rid of me, then you're going to have to knife me in the neck and throw me in the back of the trunk. Because that's it. I'm done, okay? I'm just telling you.
Yes.
I'm just telling that's where it's going to be for me. So, I mean, it's a real careful choice for me to sit and look at that. And everything went along fine to me. People looking from the outside looking in would tell me, he ain't the one for you, he ain't this, he ain't that. Y'all just jealous, y'all just hating, because again, all this right here, how could he not be?
Right.
And I helped him in his career, and I helped him with his lifestyle, I helped him with his livelihood, I helped him to be the best man that he could be. And never realized that he ain't helped me do a damn thing.
Didn't reciprocate.
And I come from a rather privileged background. I guess most of y'all would guess that. And I was always career oriented. It was understood. I told them when I was 7 years old that I was going to be a lawyer, and I wasn't going to stop till I was a lawyer. So, and then in between that, I decided I was going to travel the world, and I was going to learn German, and I was going to speak Russian, and I was going to go work at the junior embassy, and I did all those things. And it never dawned. I just figured that when I got to the point that I wanted to be married, we was going to get married. I never communicated that. Very similar. I just felt I operated absolutely on the assumption. But more importantly, I wasn't so concerned with the marriage, because I wasn't so concerned walking down the aisle. I was concerned with the fact that I felt as though we had made a commitment to each other that we had publicized. Right. And I had shown my commitment to him. And then I went to Mexico, and I came back with an unspecified parasite. And I didn't know what the hell that means until after 3 months of being in the hospital. And 2 surgeries. And in all that time I was in the hospital, he visited me twice. Because the first couple of weeks, I thought you was just being a drama queen. Because your mama didn't tell me it was really serious. Like really, like they don't keep you 6 hours in the hospital and ain't serious. But okay, I'm in here for weeks. And I've taken leave of absence from work. And I didn't want anybody to see me, but I wanted him to see me. They said, well, you said you didn't want anybody to see you. You ain't nobody.
Right.
That's right, because now I've been in the hospital long enough, they done took my weave out, took my nail polish off, One of my friends came to see me, he said, oh my God, I didn't know you was dying. I said,
and whether you told him you didn't want to see anybody, he should have showed up.
Exactly, he should have been there. He should have been there.
His love. And that's how you show your love.
And I'm going to tell you, when he did come, you want to know what the conversation was about? I can't believe my boss did so-and-so. And I was supposed to have surgery the next morning. Wow. And my grandmother and my grandfather had come to visit me, because while I was in there, our pancreas had shut down, like some things had happened. And so they had me on a diabetic diet and, sugar-free this and sugar-free that. So my grandmother, who was in like a roustabout, one of them little scooters, they had gone to go find me some of those, I love them Lance sandwich cookies, them Vano lunch things, and they make them in sugar-free. And they had gone all over, I guess, the every poppy store in Philadelphia trying to find something.
Gotta love the grandparents.
Yes, you do.
Shout out to the grandparents.
Exactly. And some Diet Wild Cherry Pepsi. And so they bring this to the hospital. and he's a fitness buff. So they bring this to the hospital. He comes in, complaining about his job and complaining about his day and complaining about his whatever. And I'm on Dilaudid, like, you know, like drooling outside of my mouth, like out my mind, and scared to death about my surgery the next morning. And he then proceeded to drink like, you know, 4 to 6 sodas and eat up all the cookies, talking about he was hungry. And okay, well, I got to go because I got to get back to the things I got to do. You gonna be all right? Your mom gonna see you in the morning? And so I was all right, because when I got out of the hospital, I was very all right. Don't talk to me. I ain't got nothing to say to you. And we didn't have to communicate that. We just, I mean, it wasn't a grow apart. And probably watching this is gonna be the first time that he really learns what happened. Because he really, like, seriously, he really thinks that we're together and I'm just going through something.
Right. Like you're being dramatic. You know, but and that's one thing. Us women will put ourselves out there.
No. When did I start going through something?
No. How long have you been away from him?
Oh, how long have I been going through something? A little over 3 years and 5 boyfriends.
Do you want to advertise your product or your service or your event right here in between the hottest show in America? Give us a call at 215-843-1984. Give us a call. If everything's a go, we'll have your commercial advertised on the next show. This program is brought to you by Kia Gray's Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. We have Sunday brunch on Sundays at 10 a.m. We have a delicious seafood and steak menu, and host your next event, wedding reception, or party at Kia Gray's Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. Special thanks to Q's Hair Boutique, located at 5815 North Broad Street, Philadelphia, PA. Q's Hair Boutique is a full-service salon providing the star treatment for any occasion. Please don't look any further for your next hair appointment. Call Q's Hair Boutique. That's 215-668-9800. In true celebrity fashion, Austin Photography snapped beautiful candidates of all the single on a Saturday night group. Austin Fine Photography is located at 4221 Main Street. If you would like to feel like a star, please call Austin Fine Photography at 267-297-7895. This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Michael Heath, Senior Pastor and Founder of Living Waters Ministries, with your 1 minute of inspiration. Have you ever heard the saying that the clothes make the man? While that may be true in business, it's really not the same when it comes to serving God. I know there are churches with certain unwritten dress codes, and many times people say, well, I would come to church if I just had the right thing to wear, or people say, I don't feel like getting dressed up, and even with tattoos and with piercings, and we think that that keeps God from loving us. Well, the truth of the matter is that God desires a heart that is after Him, burning with passion, desiring to spread His love to somebody else. So we invite you to come to Living Waters, where your style of dress is not our focus, it is not the main concern, or whether you're tattooed or not, it doesn't matter. It's a heart that God wants to use. So come and let God and the wave of His presence overtake you. We invite you to join us every Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. We worship in the main sanctuary of the Collingdale First Church of the Nazarene, 212 McDade Boulevard, Collingdale, Pennsylvania. Come and let the wave overtake you.
Listen, no, they haven't been 5 boyfriends. I'm just being facetious.
Us women will put ourselves out there to prove our love. You know, like to prove our love, we'll just go to the end of the edge. You know,
I'm not one of them.
I know I have, and that's why. You know, like I've done so much. I tried to show that I love you, you know, with all my heart, and I just didn't get it back.
But wait a minute, I don't think that's how we're supposed to be. I mean, I don't agree with that whole go to the ends of the earth. Maybe that's why I'm single. I'm not going to the ends of the earth. I'm not gonna do no cleaning. I'm not doing all that to prove my love. I'm sorry.
Shelly,
I'm
for
not
the
gonna
most
do
part,
it
us
because that
women,
doesn't prove your love.
We have a habit of doing
right.
that.
I ain't got that.
And you know, and just her, you know, so something that she said she hasn't communicated the fact that she wants a ring because she doesn't want to put pressure on him. And I think that's another deep-rooted problem that a lot of women have, is that we don't value ourselves enough to be able to say what it is that we want.
Right.
You know, because just because you want it, you to yourself, it's what there should be nothing wrong, nothing embarrassing, nothing shameful, and absolutely feeling no pressure to communicate what you want. It's you. If you don't communicate it, if you don't get it,
Tasty, don't jump out your seat, baby. Don't
I'm not
jump out your seat.
floors no toothbrush anymore. I learned my lesson.
Oh, okay, good.
Put myself out there,
Don't do it no
didn't get
more.
it back. No, so
Let them prove it to you.
now they gotta, exactly.
Go ahead.
Show your love for
Go ahead,
me
Tasty.
now, and
For us women, we tend to love and we love
hard. Exactly.
We're not going to give love at 10%. We're going to do 100%. But the key to it, young lady, is communication.
Absolutely.
If you do not communicate what it is that you want and act upon what you communicated, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Right? Okay? That's what I'm telling you as I tell my daughter. She decided she wanted to get engaged, and I'm thinking, I already see that the two of them are not equally yoked. But sometimes you have to find your own way. She finally got it. Took her 3 years in, but she got it. And when she started to have that communication going, she realized there was a gap.
Last words to the Rev before we break.
Thank you. Two things. I agree with what I'm sorry, what was your name? Bobby. What Bobby said, and which was evident in your situation, that the crisis brought out the real person. And one of the things, whenever I do premarital counseling, I always ask people, have you experienced or have you seen that person deal with a crisis in their life, a death of a loved one, sickness, illness, loss of a job? Because you need to know ahead of time, if that man loses his job, is he going to take care of the family or is he going to cut and run? And I think the other thing about not living together, to Michelle's point and some of the other people, and even what you said about giving everything, the sad fact is, whoever you do ultimately marry, you're not going to give that 100% because you gave it over here and it wasn't reciprocated. So again, if the process is let's wait until we're married to get together, then that person, you give them 100% of everything.